Hello, right, welcome to this video. So in this one we're going to look at audio clips, one of the new features on version 3.0. Probably one of my favourite bits of the new features actually. I know a lot of people are very excited about the looper, which is great, but obviously if you don't really need much use for a looper, then yeah, it's a bit meh. Although it is a fantastic looper, and there is a video on my channel about that already. But audio clips I think make life a lot easier. So prior to version 3, I've still got the old cover on here. I've got this white overlay, which somebody did comment now looks like a Lego brick, which it does, but hey, there you go. Well, I quite like it. It looks quite sexy with the white. So where it says track here, that is now called clips. So what were tracks are now called clips. So we have two types of clips now on the Deluge. We have instrument clips and audio clips, which are basically like, I mean, I use my DAW that I use for mixing and mastering so on is Ableton Live, so it's basically the same thing as your instrument clip is the same as a MIDI clip in there, and your audio clip is basically an audio clip where you would put recorded audio in. So whatever DAW you use, they might have slightly different terminology, but they usually work on the same basis of those two clips, which is now what we've got. So an instrument clip that basically needs some kind of MIDI information to make the sound. Now that sound could be generated from the internal synth Deluge, it could be a kit playing samples again from the SD card on here, it could be one of the MIDI channels sending the MIDI information out to hardware gear, which is what I use this for quite a lot, or again it could be CV. So it's obviously just MIDI notes sending information out to other pieces of equipment to get the sound. Audio clips are different in that they now contain little recorded pieces of audio. So the previous way of getting audio kind of in to play was, well, two ways of doing it. One was just to kind of load it in as a sample in a kit. So you'd start a new kit, you'd browse, you'd put your kit in, and so on. But again, that was a bit of a faff, because if you had like a 4-bar loop, you got to stretch the thing out to 4 bars so it fitted in, and then you got to faff about with the time stretching and so on. All of that's gone now. Life is so much easier, which is all very, very cool. The other great new thing actually with the audio clips is they are automatically time stretched, which is also a great new feature. So there's two ways of getting audio in. One is to actually record some audio in, which if you watch my video on the new looper, that kind of explains how to record audio in. You don't have to just use the looping functions, you can just record stuff in as, you know, just as audio and then do whatever you want with it. The other way, which is what I'm going to concentrate on in this video, is to import some loops and stuff from the SD card into here. So okay, so we're going to start with a brand new song. I apologise in advance if I keep calling the clips tracks, because I'm so used to them being tracks I've not got used to them being called clips yet, so apologies in advance if I get that wrong. So if you hear me say track, it means clip. Right, so we're going to start with a brand new song. We're going to go into song view. So it kind of loads in, the first track is just a synth that it sort of loads in as the default setting. So we're going to convert that track into an audio track. So to do that, we're going to go into song view, press any of these pads on here, and we're going to press the select knob, and then that's an audio track. We don't need to fiddle about with changing the input and monitoring, because we're doing everything from the SD card in here. So first thing we're going to do is then find where our loops are. So we're going to hold shift and we're going to press the third button down here, which is now the browse button. Well, it's always the browse button, but it's now just the browse button. It says browse on it. And that will, sorry, you've got to make sure we open that clip, not that track, because I was in song view then. So open your clip up, shift, press the third button down, and I've already got these in from before actually. I'm just going to go back a little bit. So it will take you to, if you've first time you turn it on, it will take you just to your folder where your samples are stored. I've just been fiddling about with this before, which is why it was going on the last one there. Now, problem I had earlier with this, when I first did my update, when I got onto, so let's say I get onto my browser, okay, as you can see, as I go through my loops in here, it's giving me a preview of them. Now, when I first did my update, I wasn't getting that, and it took me ages to work out why, until I probably read the manual. And there is in the main settings. So if you just from your any view, I think you press shift, yeah, shift and the select button, which is your kind of main global settings. There is now a new setting called preview, which you can have it as on, off, or conditional. Conditional is it will, if I get it the right way around, it won't play the preview if your Deluge is already playing, which is quite useful if you want to load stuff in if you're doing a live performance, so you won't get the preview of it. I just generally leave it to on for now, just so we get those. Right, so let's go back and so it's really just a case of navigating where you've got your samples saved. I'm going to stick a couple of these in here. So we'll just start with this one. Now, you can hear this playing in the background. This is a loop. It's telling me that it's 90 beats per minute. But when I load it in, I'll play it back now. You can hear it's kind of playing back at a different speed because my tempo is 120. So it's time stretched it straight away to 120, and it sounds pretty good. It does a very good job of it. So we've got a 2-bar loop there by the looks of it. Oh no, even longer. Okay, 8-bar loop. So I'm just going to put a new track in again. And now create a new audio track, and I'm just going to find a 1-bar loop as well for this one. That'll do. That ain't a 1-bar loop either. Right, I'm going to pause the video for a second. I'm going to find a 1-bar loop. You don't want to watch me going through all this. Back in a sec. Right, it took me a ridiculously long time to find a 1-bar loop, which is really annoying. But so I'm just going to turn that one off. So I've got this little hi-hat loop in here. So I can see that's now 1 bar and it's time stretched. So if we turn the tempo down, we can hear it going like that. Put the metronome on, we can kind of hear it. Okay, and if we bring the other loop back in. Okay, so we've got the normal kind of effects that we can use on here. Let's just get rid of that one for a sec. We've got volume and pan as normal. We've got your filter. Okay, and your reverbs and delays and so on. On this one, the one below stutter on custom 1, this changes the pitch, which you can get some nice kind of effects with it on. Okay, to get it back to its normal pitch, all you're going to do is just take it down till it flashes, and then it's back to its original pitch. So, lots of fun to be had with all of that. What we can also do is very quickly and easily change the length of the loop. So to get to the, what you got to do is, first of all, is zoom out so you can have the whole loop in here, and then if we press on the last bit, you'll see we get this red line appear, and that's going to be the end of our loop point. So we can start to kind of mess about with that. And the more you zoom in, you can get like really glitchy. Okay, so just mess about with the end and start points of your loop, which is pretty cool. Let's just get that back to the full thing. And then, oh, no, it's not there, it's there. Where is it? I think it's there. And just to get rid of that, I don't know what I've done here. There we go. You just click it again. So if you've got it there and you've moved it over there, you just click it again, it'll get rid of it. Or if you want to go back to the original bit, it will be there. Takes a bit of getting used to with. So if I'm going to do this one, if I want to get it down to 1 beat, I would press on the 4th pad here. So we get that going. So it's kind of looping around from that end point. Okay. So I want it to be 2 beats. And so on. Okay, half a beat. Now you've got to watch how you come out of that, because it can throw it off. If you listen to that one, it wasn't on beat 1 when I came out of it. If you're just doing it like as a whole beat, like beat 1 or, sorry, as a whole, yeah, if you did like 1 beat or 2 beats, it's pretty straightforward. So you just come out of it on beat 1. Okay, same works with 2. So if I did it from there, you've got to make sure you come out of it on beat 1. Ah, see, that was out then. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it takes a bit of practice if you want to come out of it exactly on the beat, but a nice feature to have all the same. I should just turn the down a bit. There we go. You probably just spent the last 10 minutes with sunglasses on because my lights were so bright. I forgot to turn them down. So again, apologies for that. So that's kind of it for kind of like, you know, mashing stuff up. And let's see what else we can do with audio clips. So we can kind of extract the tempo from an audio clip, which might be useful, or particularly if you've got something not rhythmical and you don't want it to be time stretched and so on. You can get it basically to play at its original tempo, so it's not time stretched at all. So this loop is actually off one of my tracks, which is 131 beats per minute. At the moment, I'm kind of slowing that down to 113. Okay, so if I want to grab the original tempo and kind of untime stretch it, I'll leave it playing so you can hear how it will speed up. All you're going to do is press down the tempo knob and press any of these pads, and you can see it's now read that as 131 beats per minute, spot on, and it's changed the tempo to that, so it's now at that speed. So my original, the other clip here, should now be timed because I've not changed that. That should be now time stretched and will play in time, which it does. All right, so again, very, very useful stuff, I think, with these audio clips, particularly with how I perform live. So if I just show you an example of kind of how I perform live, if I just load in, so this track, so sometimes I will just use stems, sometimes I'll play it all from here. A lot of times I will just kind of have the whole backing track on. And I'll take one or two of the elements out that I will play live. That might be drums, it might be keyboard. So for example, this track is I'm playing just like the keyboard part over the top. But to get that in previously, what I used to have to do was to get so this here, which I shouldn't have done, is the backing track, which I've just taken from Ableton Live. So it's just a single WAV file, but obviously it's about 3 or 4 minutes long, the length of the track. So before the audio clips thing came in, what I had to do was start a new kit, put this on a kit track here, or I could have obviously done it with a sample as well, as setting the oscillator as a sample in the synth. But then, yeah, I had to obviously make this thing long enough, however many bars it is. I mean, that's 100 and whatever it is. 128, 196, 100 bars, to make sure there was enough space to fit that in, which again, it was not a massive problem, but it was a bit of a fiddle and used to take up quite a lot of time. Now it's dead easy, just load the whole thing in and it's straight in there. And the great thing as well is it's time stretched. So this track is 102, so let's try it out, see how it works on let's change that to an audio track. Right, so that is... Oh, no, I've gone back too far. So it's Kings. So these are all my... So these are just browsing through my samples folder. And that's the loop. Right, so if I put it in now... Okay, so you can hear, hopefully it's... You know... Move your body non-stop, take a breath and fill your glass up and raise your... So time stretching thing is great, and as well it just makes it a little bit easier just because I've got a bit of silence at the beginning of this sample, so you can see there's nothing happening here. So I could obviously then easily trim that down and start the song exactly on where I wanted it to go. Sorry, where I wanted it to start from, because at the moment, like, just shaking, if I press play, you can see we've got all this bit of silence. So for that, we'd go into waveform view. So we're holding shift and this button. So when we're in waveform view, the colour that it was on the previous one, that disappears. It's always just as shown as white in waveform view. So that's the start and that's the end. So if I zoom right in and play it, okay, we can see we've got all this bit of silence. So all I would do is that one's flashing, so that's my active one. So I'd move it across there. Oh, I'm back. The tempo back up. I'll do for now. So there's still a slight bit of silence, so it's just really a case of just zooming right in until you get it exactly where you want it. I mean, you can go in ridiculously close.
Just smile if you're having fun tonight, and groove if you feel the push inside.
Okay, and then you're into that. So yeah, waveform view, it's slightly different than previously, because you used to have your start and end points over here from the shift button. That's changed now. The new layout has changed, because that's just your browse button now, and then to get into waveform view you're going to do that one along the top. Right, anything else? I think the final thing is you can record audio and stuff into an arrangement, but I'm going to do that on probably I'll do a video on Arranger View, because I've not done much on the Arranger View actually videos wise, and it's something I need to get my head around a little bit, so that'll come up at some stage in the future. So one final thing is you can name your audio tracks again, which is very, very useful, because they come out as the kind of default settings is audio 1, audio 2 by as you create it. So that's my first one, audio 1. If I create a new one, you can see that one is now audio 2. So to edit the name of an audio track, you have to do this in Arranger View, but it does then appear in the other views. So we've got audio 1, audio 2 here. So you're just going to hold down its audition pad, so you can see that's audio 1, that's audio 2. While we're holding that, we're going to press the new button, the name button, which is here. No, it's not. It's there. Can never see it. It's a bit dark in here and I can't see it, but it's there. We get the QWERTY keyboard up, so then I could just call it whatever. Okay, you're going to press enter, and that track is now named as Tafahur. And let's name this one whatever that one is. Enter, and that one is named Hi Jai. Okay, so obviously, yeah, put them in as the right way around. But they will then now appear if I'm in track view. If I just hold it down on there, okay, on the pad, you got to do a long press, because if you do a short press, it's going to open the clip. Do a long press, it will tell you the track name, so you can see as well now all your tracks. Sorry, all your clips you can see in there. And again, makes life easier. So I think that this is one of the really good features on it. It makes life a lot easier. The fact that we can actually name stuff, with the audio clips, and obviously all the stuff that I've just showed you we can do with the audio clips. The QWERTY keyboard thing I think is really good. I think somebody commented on one of the videos I did about the QWERTY keyboard earlier in the week that who the hell wants that on this? Well, I personally think it's a bit of genius putting that on here. Because before you couldn't name stuff, and it was like, okay, what's song 1, what's song 2, what are my presets? Because you can now name all your synth presets. Obviously you can name all your kits and your audio clips and everything, so all good stuff. So that's it for this one. It's getting a bit long again. I'll try and stop blabbering on, and I will end it there. So usual things, please like, subscribe, and check my music out, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.